It has been said that it is the right that protects all other rights, yet it is now one of the most controversial rights in the early 21st century. That is the right to bear arms. In the aftermath of a number of high-profile mass shootings, most recently in a high school in Florida, the argument has become, does the Bill of Rights, and more specifically, does the Second Amendment give the private citizen the right to keep and bear arms for personal protection and for protection against a potentially tyrannical government? To try and determine the answer to the questions about the citizen's right of private gun ownership, one should start with the Founding Fathers' intent. So, what did the author of the Second Amendment, James Madison, say about gun ownership? In an address before Congress, Madison pronounced, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. A well-regulated militia, composed of the body of the people, trained to arms, is the best and most natural defense of a free country." While the Second Amendment is worded slightly different, the intent, however, is the same. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Madison knew that and fought for the right of private firearm ownership for self-defense and also as a preventative measure against a tyrannical central government. To further clarify the validity of this position, there are numerous examples of language that demonstrate this was a common position throughout the colonies, demonstrated in either the drafting of their state constitutions or in their public and private writings. In the Pennsylvania Constitution that was drafted in 1776, it states that the people have the right to bear arms for the defense of themselves and the state, and as a standing army in the time of peace are dangerous to liberty, they ought not be kept up, and that the military should be kept under strict subordination to and governed by the civil power. Drafted in the Vermont Constitution in 1777, it states that the people have the right to bear arms for the defense of themselves and the state. Even found in the Massachusetts Constitution that was drafted in 1780, it states, "The people have a right to keep and bear arms for the common defense." During the much heated debates between the Federalists and Anti-Federalists, the concept of a strong central government was facing fierce opposition because of the ability for a central power to be able to raise up an army and thus be able to impose tyranny upon an unwilling population, or at least that was the fear among both sides. That is why the rights of the individual citizen to keep and bear arms had to be protected. Our founding fathers understood that, once armed, Americans would defend their freedoms to the last breath, as they had done so in the Revolutionary War. Nowhere was this notion more evident than in Patrick Henry's famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. The context of that oration, the importance of an armed population. Henry's historic words now stand there to defend the Second Amendment and the rights of the citizenry. While speaking of revolution, Henry proclaimed, "They tell us that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable of an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be when we are totally disarmed, and when a British guard shall be stationed in every house? 3 million people, armed in the holy cause of liberty, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us." The founders' purpose in guaranteeing the right to keep and bear arms was not merely to overthrow tyrants. They saw the right to bear arms as crucial to what they believed was a prime natural right. That is, of self-defense.